Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Noon with Natalie. My name's Natalie Mayotte. I own Master Authentic Voice. I'm a communications coach, and I'm also the creator of Teen Talk, which is a very specific program for teens to learn how to speak with confidence. I say it every time, every person I have on the show, I'm excited to have. Today, I have Miriam Gaudelli, business coach from The Adaptive Human. Before we dive into the conversation with her, let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is from the Adaptive Human and has been in the business world for more than 15 years. And she dabbled in entrepreneurship at a pretty young age. At 5, she was setting up grocery stores in her parents' kitchen, and she had them buying their own groceries. Now that's a really crazy sales technique I like to hear about. In high school, she had a tutoring business, and as an adult, she's focusing on helping others. She holds a master's degree in science and went to the Canada Coach Academy to be trained as a coach. And one of the pieces of her story that I love so much is the way she has pivoted throughout this pandemic, because in a past life, Miriam, you did something else.
I did. I actually worked as a massage therapist, owned my own clinic. I actually still own the clinic. But a few different things happened. I injured my hands. I had always decided that at 40 I would change career paths. It's just unfortunately my hands forced me to pivot sooner, and then the pandemic happened. And, instead of seeing the pandemic as something bad, thought as the opportunity to make the change, because let's face it, I'm spending more time at home than I usually do. So
I think that makes such a difference in how we look at this opportunity. We're creeping up on almost 1 year in this pandemic, and I've spoken to a lot of business owners who have either been able to kind of ride the wave of the pandemic, or some have flipped, some have paralyzed. But you have managed to really rotate and create something interesting in the Adaptive Human. But I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, what are you doing with your clients that is making them succeed?
So that's really interesting, because having a background in science and being who I am, if you go back to my high school teachers, they're going to tell you that I was the one with the hand up in the air questioning why things had to be done a certain way. We work hard with our clients, all coaches do, in terms of setting goals. But the one thing I found lacking was the how. We always talk about the why, but then we always forget the how. And so many business owners don't know how to do the how, don't know how to figure out the how. So I've actually created a goal setting model that has a small focus on the what, but the rest is all about the how.
So how they're going to achieve it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's called the Slam Dunk goal setting model. And basically we set your specific goals. We figure out what you have to lose if you don't reach them, but also what you have to lose if you do reach them, right?
Okay.
You have to make choices. Our choices in life have consequences. And instead of, the SMART model uses the word achievable, I actually use the word actionable. What are the actions you can do? And a lot of times things don't get done because we don't plan for them.
Yeah.
We have to be able to measure. We have to make sure that it's something we can do. If you're 90 years old, chances of you becoming an astronaut, slim to none. You have to have an unparalleled commitment. You have to have numerous solutions, and you really have to know where to go get the knowledge you need to do what you need.
Absolutely. Now, what do you say to the naysayers? I don't believe in goals, and it's not the route that I take.
The number one rule they teach us in coaching is not everyone is coachable.
Oh, yes, that's true. And wouldn't you agree? I mean, even in my own business as a speaking coach, not everybody sees the value of being coached in speaking or communicating. They don't see that, how is this going to improve my business? And I'm totally coachable, 100%. I'm all about getting coached. I look for help when I need the help. And I think that's a difference. There's those two realms of people.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, anywhere you go, I mean, I have stories. I went to buy a car and the guy kept trying to make me buy the car that I really didn't want, and it didn't have the features that I wanted in a car, and he just kept pushing me and pushing me. And I was sitting there like, not only does this guy need to be coached in listening, but also in how to communicate what he felt. And I think, coming from the massage background, it all I did was listen to my clients. All I
Yeah.
did was set, and in rehab, all you do is set goals, right?
Yeah.
You can't have somebody come in who pulled their back. They can't be running the next day. So you have to set progressive goals. And that's what I do now. And, to the naysayers, and I trust me, there's a lot of them, a lot of people who, when I tell them I'm a coach, are like, I've had a coach, it didn't work, or I've had this, it didn't work. And, for me, the coach, I'm there to motivate you. I'm there to show you the system. I'm there to show you the process. But at the end of the day, you have to want it. I can't want it for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think our role is to guide, and tend to support, and then, the next step is for clients to, take the action. So tell us, what little project are you working on now?
This I'm really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a book on the goal setting process, the slam dunk goal setting process. And it's funny because at first, when I was starting, my first reaction was, am I going to even get this done? Right? How many of
100%.
How many of us want to write a book and then we write 2 pages and then never go back to it? So I used my own model on myself. I structured it. I did the research. I did a lot of reading, and I set up daily goals for myself. And then sometimes you just don't feel well. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes other things come up. So then I set up a process of what to do if ever on 1 or 2 days I wouldn't be able to write. How many words would I divide into other days? Can I take a day where and double up? And I'm actually ahead of the game. I've been writing about 10,000 words per week. My goal was to have it finished by the end of May, and it looks like I might be done by the end of April.
Nice.
Writing process, yeah. So
this is not a, what do you call that, a shameful plug, but my husband is a full-time writer now, and it's a lot of dedication, discipline to get the words on paper and then edit and move forward with the project. So I applaud you for persevering, because I have an ebook sort of sitting in a G drive somewhere that needs a little bit of help. But hopefully in my new life that's coming up, I will be able to finish that book and share it. So I know we all have had clients that we loved working with, people that are our ideal clients. Can you share a success story?
It's funny. One of my biggest success stories wasn't even from my ideal client.
Okay.
Somebody I went to high school with who reached out to me and said, oh, you're a coach. I see that you've been doing that now. I need some help. I'm trying to make a decision. I'm not happy in my job. And I was working with her, and it's we were discussing what she wanted, what her goals were. And she kept bringing up her dream job. She kept bringing up what she wanted to do. And one of the questions I asked her was, what do you need to do to get your dream job?
Mm-hmm.
And, she made this huge list and everything. And then at the end of the conversation, she said, or I could just call my dream job and see if they have any positions, and we did our session, and it was so amazing because she called me a few days later and she said, Miriam, I have to tell you, I called the job. I said, that's great. When's your interview? She goes, interview? I already got the job. I'm starting in a month. And I was so proud of her because it happens to all of us. I'm sure even you, Natalie, as a speaking coach, where people set their goals, people set their process, but then don't follow through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so proud of her because she really followed through.
Yeah.
And it's moments like that where you see you really change somebody in their life and what they do. And, she has a job now that she's going to have so much impact on others. It's incredible.
And I was listening to a Mel Robbins interview a few days ago on one of my walks, and she was talking about how we hesitate, right? We hesitate in so many instances. And she said, we don't hesitate to get dressed in the morning. We don't hesitate to, pour ourselves a cup of coffee and make sure all of those needs are met. But when it comes to something crucial like our careers, speaking up, maybe an upcoming presentation, getting clear on our career goals, we hesitate. We get in our head, and our head just talks us right out of it. And to that, I would say to everybody, if you're not sure, I'm pretty sure you offer an opportunity for a conversation.
Oh, for sure. Yes. I always have a discovery session with every potential client.
So if you're listening now and you're not sure and you haven't decided yet if you need a coach, but it's something you're dabbling with, how do we get in touch with you, Miriam?
So you can either go to my website, www.theadaptivehuman.com.
Okay.
I also have a Facebook page, The Adaptive Human, and a LinkedIn page, The Adaptive Human. So I check my social media every day. But just a little tip here, I have structured times where I check my social media so that I make sure to not have it bleed
go down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
That rabbit hole, it can go deep, my friend. I know I've gotten caught. So I think my last question before we go is, what is the story behind the name of your business, The Adaptive Human?
I love that question.
Yeah. Because I don't even know if I know the answer. I think I know the answer, but go.
Nobody ever asked that question.
Yay.
We're all able to adapt, We always have the excuse that we're creatures of habit, that this is how we've always done it. But the best stories we see in the world are when humans have been able to adapt to what the new reality is. If we look at the definition of resiliency and what resiliency actually is, it's all about being able to adapt to your surroundings and seeing the opportunities. And as people, that's what we need to do, is we need to adapt. And I think I've been through so much in my life. I explain it in my book, actually. I've had to adapt when I was in my 20s, I got sick. I had to adapt. Now that I had to fix my hands, I'm a foster parent. So it's an adaptation every single day, every single new child that comes in. And we don't realize how adaptive a human can be.
Absolutely. I don't think we don't give ourselves enough credit. And I think the last almost 12 months has shown the world how we've had to adapt. I mean, look, normally maybe we would have been in person to do this, though my show has always been a recording or a live that we record and present later on. But the idea is that we are able to adapt now, especially with the technology. And I feel like that's a whole other conversation for another day. So once again, my name is Natalie. I'm Master Authentic Voice. I'm a communications coach, the creator of Team Talk and all things that are talking. I love. If you're looking to improve your next presentation, you're not sure how to go about a conversation, www.nataliemayotte.com. Miriam will make sure all your coordinates will be in the bottom area with your bio so people can read up and contact you. Thank you so much for being with me today. I am so glad that we got to do this before I step away. Not step away from my business, but step away from the cold. Stay tuned for that, folks. Take care, Miriam. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.